Hello, welcome to today's tutorial. So today we're going to be making um, a box that flips and closes by itself. Um, Here's a sample of what we want to make. I made this, but the material is not, you can see it's not neat enough. So today I'm going to be making it instead of using leather. I will be using craft paper, which you can see right here on the table. So follow me as I show you how to make this kind of box using craft paper, straw board, uh, industrial adhesive. That's what's in here. Steel rule, measuring tape, the 2 inches scraper, and the 5 inches scraper, and of course my cutting knife and uh, what do you call this? It's a film used to spiral bind. Yes, spiral binding film. This is the blue colored one. This is the transparent one. I would be making use of the blue colored one, the tinted one, so that I can get the effect of coloring on the item that will be inside the box. And lastly, I am going to be customizing the box like this. I will when I get there, I will show you how I do that. So join me as we begin this work. So the measurement of the box, the new measurement I want to use is going to be 4 inches by 2.25 inches. So that means this smaller one inside is going to be 4 inches length and 2.25 inches breadth. So I'm going to make this one first. Then the height of this, you will notice that the height of the box inside is more than the height of the box outside. It's like two boxes inserted into each other. So that's what I'll be doing right away. So I'm going to make this one length and breadth 2.5, but I'm going to make the height to be, say, 1.5 inches for height, and we can make the other one 0.75 inches just to create that good overlap for us, or we can make it 1.0 depending on what we have. So now I'm going to go ahead to measure that out, turning a new part of the straw board, and I want to begin by measuring out the side so that we won't be confused. Let me use a part that has lesser stains. Okay, so um, first, because we are going to be drawing the layout of the box and be assigning measurement from here to here is going to be 1.5. That's the height. From here to here is going to be the length. That's 4 inches. Then from here to here is also going to be the height again. That's 1.5. Then left to right now, from here to here is going to be 1.5. That's the height. Also 1.5 the height. Then this part is the breadth, which is 2.25 inches. So that tells us the overall amount of cut to make. Um, 1.5 plus 1.5 is 3 plus 2.25. That's 5.25. So my entire cut is going to be 5.25. Then here, that's 7. So I want to make a cut of 7 inches by 5 inches. So you demarcate on 2 points, then join together with a steel rule. I am having to use a measuring tape because my steel rule is stained. so I can hardly see the measurements anymore. But if you have a new stereo, it's better to make use of it. So measuring from here, now I've measured from here to here as 7. The other part is 5.25. So align your ruler to the edge and make 5.25 two um, 2 points and join them together to get a perfectly straight line. Okay, then from there we can now cut out the shape, then demarcate the height from there. So let's cut. Again, the measurement of this is 5.25 by 7 inches, out of which we are now going to remove 1.5 from all the 4 edges to form the box we want to make. 1.5 from the left. Always make 2 joints so that you can get a straight line, and always align the ruler to the edge using your finger so that you can get a very perfect measurement. So here again, I'm going to take out 1.5 and come to the edge here and pick again 1.5. Then you mark again on another side 1.5 and 1.5, and again you mark. You can see that it is already beginning to form the extent of what will be the length and breadth of the box. If you don't understand this method, just watch carefully and learn so that you can grasp it in the end. So now you see this is the length and breadth of what we are actually cutting out. Okay, length and breadth of it already cut out. So now we're going to die cut this so that the box can fold inward by itself. But because before I die cut, I want to cover this part, always the other part where you are not writing on, I want to cover this part with black because that will be the inner part of the box. So I'm going to get black paper now and do my covering for that part. Okay, this is black paper and it's just the size that I need. So first I'm going to apply adhesive to this side, then apply to this side and join them together. I'm going to be using the small scraper. It's messy, of course, because I've been using it. And then apply a little drop of adhesive and spread out evenly using the scraper. Make sure that every edge of the straw board receives even distribution of adhesive. Good. And then I'm going to also apply adhesive to the surface here. Spread it out evenly. Then we're going to be covering, attaching them together. Good. Scrub and use your cutting knife to trim out exactly that edge. Okay, having done that, you can use a piece of cloth to scrub over it, applying pressure just to make the gluing very firm. Then you can come in with the scissors and just trim off the edge. You can also make use of your cutter to do this. I prefer, using the scissors so that I can be able to control what I'm cutting. Sometimes using the cutter can make the blade veer off and you cut into the strawberry. Okay, next I'm going to be die cutting these lines. Die cutting means that the pressure you apply to this cut will not be very deep, such that it cuts the strawbud halfway. So I'm going to be very, very light in my cutting, very, very light, not applying pressure at all, just to, score that part. You see, this is what a die cut does. It just scores it out so that you can fold it inward. So I'm going to be doing that all around on all the sides. Okay, you see, and I'm going to be doing that again here. And you see it folds inward. And here we are, it goes inward. So having done this, I'm going to be trimming off these little boxes by the edge so that I can be able to form a 3D shape from this cut. Trim gradually with the scissors, stop at where the lines meet, gradually stop at where the lines meet, and pull that out like I did just now. Pull it out. Okay, cut carefully, cut carefully, pull it out, cut carefully, cut carefully, pull it out. Here we go. This is the shape we wanted to form. You see how that came out? Very easy. Okay, now that we have done this, we are going to be forming the outer part of this box. We're going to be covering it up so that it becomes, a black box. Now, because I'm going to be inserting it into another box, I am tempted not to just, I'm tempted to not cover it all around, so because I want to conserve material. So what I will be doing is to just use a piece, of this, measure an offset inside. Okay, I'm going to be using 3 inches. Let me use a clearer tape. 3 inches. That's from here. I'm going to be making use of. Okay, let's make use of 2 inches. Okay, so that covers inward a little bit. You will understand what I'm talking about by the time you see me do it. So I want to cut a piece of this strap, which will be 2 inches, and I'm going to just use it to wrap it around, just to hold them together so that I can insert it later into the other box. So let's do that now. I'm going to be using a longer strip, and I am cutting 2 inches. So I'm marking 2 inches from the edge, 2 inches from the edge. I will also make use of a long ruler so that I can be able to join my line across the straw board. And when you do that, you can cut with a cutting knife or follow the line with your scissors. It doesn't have to be a perfect trim, but try as much as possible to follow the line you can see with your eyes. Okay, I'm going to put that away. Now I'm going to apply adhesive to the entire part of this piece of paper, and I'll be using just a piece of straw board I already cut. Just to make sure, you apply this gum to the entire surface. All right, here we are. And I'm also going to be applying gum to the overall surface of this. Remember that if you do not apply the adhesive or gum, because of the nature of this particular gum, it will not stick together if it's only applied to one side. Hence the reason why I have to apply to both surfaces before bringing them together. Okay. Okay. Right. And when you've done that, it is always good to scrape over the surface that you are using because of excess gum that spreads over it. The scraper does a good job to give you a cleaner surface so that your work doesn't get stained. All right, so let me bring it closer to the camera. This is what I want to join together, and I will be leaving an offset of 1 inch. 1 inch. So it's okay to pre-fold it so that it can serve as a guideline for you. I'm just going to put the ruler across and leave an offset. Okay. Trying to adjust the ruler so that it fits exactly in line. Good. Now I have it. I'm just going to pre-fold. Okay. So this pre-fold, this faint line you can see here, guides me on, folding it around so that I don't go beyond this space, because this is eventually going to go inward into the box. So I'm going to start from here, and I'm going to join this together and put them together. You can see this infold is in line with the edge of the box. Once that is set, the others are not so difficult. Okay, then I'm going to go around, join this together, and place that, scrape over with your finger, join together. It's okay if you miss the line. Yes, sometimes one can miss the line because of the paper alignment, but it's okay. Just keep on doing what you need to do. And of course, putting this over, you now realize that this offset here doesn't have gum attached to it. So I will have to trim this small part off, okay, so that I am left with this. So this is where I'm going to apply gum so that when this comes, it joins to it. So I'm doing that, just a very small quantity, and then you apply it here, over here, over here, pull this inward and join. You see the reason why we had to put a mark? You see that all the sides are even when it joins here, they're not taller than each other, and I can adjust in case I perceive that it's taller. Okay, then one more time you go over it with the piece of cloth, just to apply some pressure to keep them from being disjointed. Here we are, round. Now I'm going to be cutting into at the edge of this paper. Cut, separate it, separate it, separate it, and this can go inward. Okay, this can go inward. this can go inward, and that's it. So before I bring this inward, again I need to apply adhesive to this inner edge of the straw board so that I can be able to get a firm grip of this paper on it. So you understand why I had to leave this part empty. You know, if you are going to make a lot of boxes like this saves you material already, because the paper you can use to cover this side can be used to do something else. I hope you understand. Okay, so let's go on ahead to apply adhesive, just a tiny strip to the inner part. I hope you can be able to see clearly. Yeah, and just apply here. Okay, just a tiny strip over here and over here. The gum is exhausted. I have to refill and go over it again. Okay, and go over it again here. Good. All right, so I have the adhesive on all sides. You can see from the reflection on all sides inside, and when I make an infold, you see this looks, even from the camera, it looks different compared to if I had left it like this. So you know, it covers up the nakedness, so to say, of the edge of the straw board. Okay, and from the inner fold you can see, I hope you can, that you know, it's neat and the infold is not longer than each other. Okay, that was just what I wanted to show. And then this goes in, look at that, and then you go over with the scissors and apply pressure. This is actually what I'm doing. I'm just using the head of the scissors and pressing over it so that it creates a firm bond between both objects and surfaces being attached. Okay, so far we are done with this. We're going to put this away and we're going to make the bigger one that we're going to put this inside of. So remember, the measurement we began with was 4, okay, by 2.25. So if we're going to make a box that will exactly fit into this, like a cover, we are going to just add 0.25 to each of them. 0.25. Why? Because the thickness of two straw boards, it amounts to 0.25, and that is what gives enough sufficient allowance for a cover that has a firm grip. So if I'm going to make a cover for this, I'm going to use 4.25 by 2.5. This amounts to 4.25 by 2.5. Okay, this is all of these measurements is in inches, please. And so it's just like, instead of using the cover, instead of making a cover, this is my ribbon box. Instead of making a cover and putting the cover over it, the cover will now serve as the base, just like I have here. You see, so that's just what I want to do. Instead of putting the cover over it, the cover will become the base of the box, and that becomes, you know, attaches to the cover that goes over it. You know, you get to understand it as we continue making this. So now I'm going to put this aside and I will be making this body, this body that goes over the box. And okay, to do that, I will need to now form this body. And so let's break it down. How is this body formed? Because of this video, I don't want to cut this, but I will have to break it down. So this is 1 inch, okay, plus 4.25, because that's the outer cover now, plus 1 inch, plus 0.75, which is the cover now, plus 4.25, okay, which is the cover, okay, then another 0.75. So that is the outline I'm going to be drawing right now. Okay, so I brought a white surface so that we can understand the diagram together. So I'm starting from the small infold of the cover. Okay, if you have not watched my video on the pre-box class, this will be very difficult for you, so please kindly go back to my video 1, the first lesson on box making, and you will understand all of these diagrams that I am attempting to make. Okay, then we'll put another one. This is a guide for us to know what size of paper to cut, or what size of straw board to cut rather. Okay, here, so this is 0.75, this is 4.25, this is 0.75, this is 1 inch, this is 4.25, this is 1.0, that's 1 inch, 1.0. So you can see from this diagram that the total measurement we need is 1 plus 1, that's 2, 4.25 plus 4.25, that's 8.5, and this is 1.5. So 1.5 plus 8.5, that's 10, then plus 2, that's 12. So we need 12 inches length by, so let's check out the breadth. This guy has a leaflet that allows him to stand, which is 1 inch, 1 inch, and the distance from here to here is 2.5, like we earlier calculated. Okay, don't forget this that we discussed. I'd like to zoom in. Okay, I think it's visible from here. You can see this is 4.25 and this is 2.5. That's the length and breadth of what we're attempting to make. Okay, so 1 inch, 1 inch, 2.5. So that is a total, this is a total of 12 inches. This is a total of 4.5. So I'm going to be cutting a strip of 12 inches by 4.5, and also this cover also has a 0.5 and a 0.5. This is the 2D drawing of what becomes this. I hope it's understood. Right. Yes, there's every probability not to understand the first time. It's okay to watch again until you understand. So let's go on. Right. Now I will be cutting, based on our calculation, 12 inches by 4.5. So let's cut 12 inches by 4.5. This here is 4.5. This here is 4.5. We join those two together. Okay. Then we measure 12 inches. 12. This is 12. And another 12. And join. So I'm going to be cutting that out. Okay. Here we are. So having done this now, we will be cutting out, we'll be measuring out each of the parts in this drawing. So let's begin. The first thing we have here is 0.75. So It's a little bit ambiguous on the measuring tape, so I would have to use this 0.75 and 0.75. Cut out. Okay. Then the next is 4.25, 4.25, and 4.25. Also rule that out. Okay. Then the next is 0.75 again. 0.75, 0.75. You can also do a progressive measurement. I'm just breaking it down so that the viewers can understand each measurement in the way it is derived. All right, 1 inch, 1 inch. The next is 4.25, and of course, the last is 1 inch. Okay, then from the sides, there is 1 inch on both sides. 1 inch, 1 inch. Move up here, 1 inch and 1 inch. Okay, join that together, and that gives you an idea of what to cut for the lower part. 1 inch, 1 inch. Be careful to stop just before this line, because this is just how far the lower part of the box goes. Remember this part, this is 1 inch, 4.25, 1 inch. Then you stop because the measurement changes after that. So I've been able to cut this out. 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch. Okay, this measurement looks like it's racking. Okay, so I'm not satisfied with what this looks like. You can see it must have been, an error from a previous measurement. So I'll have to cut this away so that it doesn't mess with my final result. Okay. All right. Then I'm going to try to measure again 4.25 just to confirm what I had before. The measurement is racking from my perspective, and I was right, so I have to correct it. Or possibly I would just do away with this and remeasure. Okay, so it's okay to make mistakes while measuring. Sometimes it just doesn't come out the way you measure, and it happens. Okay, it can be frustrating sometimes, but just to keep in mind that it can happen. Okay, cutting this out. 4.5 and another 4.5. And cut this out. So I have another piece and it's not racking. So from my cut previously, I noticed that my blade is blunt, and one good thing about the cutter knife is that it comes with the blades joined together, so you can always trim off the upper blade to get a new one that is sharper and can be used for a longer period. Okay, so I'm remeasuring again using this measurement as I have it here. Okay, so 0.75 plus 4.25, okay, plus 0.75. So I measure here again, 0.75 plus 4.25, that would be 5 inches. Then plus 0.75, that would be 5.75. I'm going to be joining them. Here. Join this together. Yeah. And okay, this looks straight. Then I'm going to be picking the next measurement. That will be 1 inch plus 4.25. That's 5.25. And yes, the measurement ends at 6.25, which means that I have 1 inch extra, just like I have here. So that means my measurement here is correct. 1 inch plus 4.25, that's 5.25. And then here it ends at 6.25. So that's 1 inch extra. So join the two lines together and join the two dots together. And yes, this looks much better. And of course, I can work with this. Just to be sure, I'm going to measure again exactly. And this is exact. All right, now I'm going to measure 1 inch from both ends to form the lower box. 1 inch from both ends. 1 inch from both ends. Okay, and join them together. Be careful to stop here. This is as far as the lower box goes. Stop here. Stop here. So you can see I have formed the lower box. Then I'm going to go to the upper part and form another box. But this time the width of this box on the upper part is going to be 0.75. So instead of just straining yourself trying to measure, just extend the 1 inch. Extend the 1 inch. Okay. Then measure from this part and measure 0.75. 0.75. Don't forget, I am measuring in inches. 0.75. And draw the line. Also draw the line here. 0.75. So you can see this is as far as 0.75 goes. So I'm going to be trimming this off using the cutter. This is as far as the line goes. Very fresh cut now. Okay, and cut this off. It is very important to keep your cutter knife very sharp. It helps you to have cleaner cuts while working. Okay, so you can see that the diagram comes out all the lines appropriately. So now I'm going to be cutting off the parts that will not allow the box to form here, because now we're ready to form the box. Okay, cut this off. Okay. Okay, just be careful to follow the line. Right. So the rest cannot be cut with scissors. You need the help of the cutter to achieve that cut. Here we are. And there. All right, so we have a shape of the box, and it's definitely making two boxes. Can you see that? Here they come. Next, I'm going to be applying adhesive to this surface, but I will be joining them together so that there can be an allowance for folding. This allowance for folding, the two boxes have to be disjoint, and you create a small space when joining them, when joining the individual base, so that you can get this alignment for it. So I'm going to be using this, and yes, that's what I'll be doing. And then I'll be trimming off the part. So first I'm going to apply adhesive to both straw boards, and then apply adhesive to the craft paper that will be used as the underlining. Okay, so before I apply adhesive, you will notice that there is a transparent film in this part of the box. So I am going to be making that same, hole on this, so that I can be able to apply it correctly. So in order to get a good shot, I will just measure 0.75 from all four ends. 0.75, 0.75, 0.75. Okay, from the side, there's not much space, so I'm just going to use 0.5 from the side. From the longer side, rather. 0.5, 0.5. Okay, 0.75 from this end. And now you can see I'm ready to have a hole in the middle of the box. So this is where you bring in your cutter and cut carefully along the line, along the line, along the line, along the line. And look, we have the hole already cut out. So I'm going to go ahead now to apply adhesive to the back of this. Just follow the procedure as you watch. It's important to just follow the procedure the first time that you're watching. This helps you to be able to create a form in your mind that helps you to just attempt to repeat the box. As you repeat, then you will find out why some things were done the way they were done. The first way to learn is just to repeat, initially, and as you continue to repeat, understanding comes along with it. So just repeat the first time, just watch and repeat the process, and you will find out that you get to start understanding it as you get along the process. Okay, so having done that, I'm going to be placing this here as the cover, and I'm going to be placing this. Don't forget, I am supposed to leave an allowance between both of them so that it is easy to fold inward and outward. Just a small allowance, not too small, not too big. Right. Okay, having done that, the next thing is to trim out all of this. Trim out all of it. Everything. Trim out excesses. All of it. All of it. Okay. Put this away. And look, we already have that. Next is, again, we go over it with a piece of cloth. This helps the bond to be stronger and permanent. No cause for alarm while of being removed. Then this part needs to be opened, so you would first create, do not finish it, just create a four-cornered hole randomly. No measurements, just carefully cut it out. Then diagonally cut from the edge and join. From the edge, join. Join diagonally. This is what I'm cutting from here to here. It's the diagonal cut. Okay, good. Then having done that, I'm going to apply adhesive to the part behind so that I can fold this inward. Okay, fold it inward, fold it inward, fold it inward. All right, good. Now that we have done that, we are now ready to score the parts of the box. You see that these parts are still rigid because I have not scored them. So we're going to now go over these lines. Remember, a score or a die cut is a very light application so that you don't cut into, but you are able to fold. Again, die cut, so that you can fold. Very light application, no pressure at all, just gliding over it, and you see it forms. You do the same here, and it forms. Okay, you do the same here. Very light, and you see it can fold inward. You do the same, and it can fold inward. Here again, die cut, and it can fold inward. Okay, here again, die cut, and it can fold inward. You see, look, we already formed it. Look at it. Right, good. And this goes in here. Look at that. This is what I was talking about the fact that this will hide, what's left. So there's no need to do anything under it, you see? So now I'm going to cover the outer part of this box. And to do that, I will be bringing in black paper. Okay, This is not enough to go around. So the best thing to do is to know the measurement and then add 1 inch on both sides. So the breadth of this, length and breadth of this is 4.5. The breadth of this is 4.5. The length, the overall length is 12 inches. So 4.5 plus 2 inches, that's 6.5. And 12 plus 2, that's 14. So I'm going to be cutting, from this big strip, 14 by 6.5. So I'm making sure to clear the table so that I don't tumble over anything. And the first part I want to measure is 14. So I put my tape overall and mark where I have 14. Put my tape here and mark where I have 14. Then I'm going to be joining them together. Okay. Remember, we are cutting 14.0 by 6.5. So 6.5 on the edge and cut. Okay. So having made this cut now, I can bring this back. You see, this works exactly for it. So before I can do that, I also need to apply adhesive to the overall back part of this. So I'm bringing in the adhesive and I'm going to rub on carefully around the back. You will notice that I keep bringing in the straw board or some surface, while applying the adhesive. It's just because I don't want to mess my cutting mat further. I have done that previously, and I found out it's a whole lot of work getting adhesive from the surface. One would have to apply some solvent to get it done. So in order not to mess it up further, I just always put something in between. If you don't have a cutting mat, feel free to use a straw board as your base, only that over time, of course, the straw board will sustain cuts, but the cutting mat is self-healing. So with every cut, it readjusts itself. Okay, so before we put the cover on, we are going to place the lamination film, rather the spiral bind film. But before we do that, we cannot place the spiral bind film and get the exact position of it without first tracing out the the we're going to trace out the form of this box and transfer it to this place so that we can be able to get the exact place to open on it. I don't know if you understand that. I'm going to trace out the form now. Just transfer the form of the box. But before you transfer, make sure you have placed and measured left to right what will be the infold. Okay, so I'm transferring the form, all the sides, and look, here it is. So this is the part of the box where the hole is. Don't mind me. It's called a glazing. Please use the professional term. This is where the glazed material is. So I'm going to cut it out. Right. Excellent. Now I'm going to bring this back and I'm going to apply the glaze material itself. Like I showed earlier, there was a blue laminated, blue tinted lamination material or glaze material, and there was the colorless. This is the colorless, but I am not going to use the colorless. I prefer to use the blue tinted one so that I can achieve uniformity. So I'm attempting to look for it, and here we are. So I just need the exact measurement that fits into that place. So I will have to cut, a dummy size from my previously racked measurement, and just cut a dummy size to guide my cutting of what will be there. Okay, so now that I have it, I'm going to cut it out here. Cut out. Good. Now I'm going to put this over here so that I can apply the outer covering over it. I'm going to trim it a bit because I don't want it extending to the edge where it folds, so that it will not disrupt the folding of the box. So I'm going to trim it inward so that it does not exactly reach the edges. Yes, it's not reaching the edges this way. So with that, we can now apply just a very tiny bit of adhesive to this side so that we can be able to create a very strong bond between the paper and the straw board. Okay, careful not to add too much, just slightly, and enough not to show there. Okay, so I have it, and go over it with the scissors to create a strong bond. And you see, looking at it from inside, it's perfect, strong and sturdy. So good. Now we are ready to apply the outer part of this. So I'm going to bring in, I'll put this aside, and I'm going to bring in the straw board, and I'm going to apply adhesive to the surface of this. Okay. So just cut a piece of straw board, apply adhesive. Good. And I'll just go over every nook and cranny of this straw board. Be careful, this paper, be careful not to allow the adhesive slip beyond the uh, glaze hole we have created, so that it does not transfer to the back and just messes up the cover. Adhesive can be very sneaky sometimes, you know, right? You see what I'm talking about. You just find out that it has gotten to the back, not knowing how it did that. Okay, so we have done good. Now I'm going to be placing it, making sure that the edges do not sit yet. Okay, first, because this is most important, I want to get exact placement of this. Okay. Right. Okay, so I just remembered that after applying the adhesive, I have not applied that. After applying the glaze material, I have not applied adhesive to the back of it, so it's not joining together. So I have to come again and do that. Make sure to avoid the part that will be the glaze hole so that it doesn't stain it. Okay, so let's go back again and place this carefully, as careful as can be. Good. Be careful, do not allow the ears of the box to sit yet. Do not allow them to sit yet. Okay. Do not allow them to sit yet. Just the body can sit. And while you are doing that, try to fold it in and press so that the material can adjust to it. You can allow the back parts and the front to sit, but not the sides. The sides cannot sit yet because they will be taking the infolds later. So now you can now trim at the edge. Trim at the edge here. Okay. Trim this at the edge. Trim this at the edge. Trim this at the edge. Just, cut by perception. A perceived straight line towards that edge. A perceived straight line. A perceived straight line. A perceived straight line. Beautiful. Now let's go on to form the cover. And remember I said this part will be taking the infold. So this is the infold now. This is the infold. Okay, good. And this part will be taking the other infold. Okay, infold, infold. Good. Now we can cut this inward, and cut this away. Good. Remember from previous box making ideas, this part needs adhesive as much as the inner part of the box. So we apply adhesive to this outer part. Okay. Apply adhesive to this outer part. Apply adhesive to the outer part. Pull up. Pull up. Good. And we are almost ready to have a cover. And we go over it with the scissors, applying pressure to form a stronger bond. Applying pressure to form a stronger bond. Here we are. Also outside, apply some pressure to form a stronger bond. Apply some pressure to form a stronger bond. Okay. Now we have some excesses. We trim it a little bit so that it can fit into what we need. All right. I have to trim that because if I fold inward, it will be too much. So it's better to just trim it so that you don't have too much overhang going into the box. So now I will apply adhesive to the inner part, and the inner part here, the inner part. Okay, the inner part, and then you pull this in, and pull this in. Look at that. Wow, we have a a very nice cover coming out already. Next is this part, and of course we're going to pull in the ear. This is what I'm doing. Pull in the ear and apply pressure. Pull in this excess and apply pressure. Pull in this excess and apply pressure. Then pull this inward over here. Right. So we do the same thing we did to the cover. We're going to trim this part, cut into it and cut into it here. So cut here and cut here. Good. So having done that, now we are going to apply adhesive again to this part before pulling in the outer cover over it. This creates a stronger bond to avoid loopholes in the joining of the box. Okay, so we'll pull this inward, okay, and pull this inward. Then we come in with the scissors to do the final touch of applying pressure to create stronger bonds. Apply pressure to create stronger bonds. Cut this out. Okay, cut this out. So now I'm going to be applying adhesive. You know what's next in this part to create the infold. So let's do that right away. It's getting exciting, I must say. Good. Here we are. And pull this inward. Pull this inward. Pull this inward. Good. If you watched all the way carefully to this point, you must be a very patient person. I once took a box making class and someone said you must be a very patient person. Yes, it requires a lot of patience. So you see, these two parts glide over each other. They don't go into each other. Why? Because there's a guy that is coming in between them, and this is the guy that receives the cover. See? Very calmly, I must say. Okay, so the next thing which you would have noticed is that there is this small piece of ribbon that goes in between them. The ribbon serves to hold the cover together with it. So this is a full ribbon, okay, and this is a piece I already cut. It's a black ribbon. So I'm going to be applying the ribbon right away. And before I apply this, you remember I'm going to apply adhesive to this part again, so that when I fix it into the box, it remains fixed. It doesn't lift out while being used. Okay, here we are. Okay, and I'm going to apply this. And also where we have the ribbon, we're going to put something there. Okay, so the ribbon goes in between, so this guy here should have some more here. All right, so we're going to put some adhesive also on the two parts of the ribbon that will be going into the box. So first, the ribbon goes in first to the part we want it to go, and we slant it, see, I'm going to slant it because it's going to be holding the box. It's going to be holding the cover and the base together in a slant form. Then I'm going to insert this one. Okay, here we go. Look at that. Beautiful. Okay, apply pressure to join both parts together. Apply pressure. Apply pressure. Right. We have a good base. Then here comes the part where we join the cover to the ribbon. So we have measured this, so I'm going to cut that exact part away. Okay, and then we are going to apply adhesive both to the ribbon, but this time only to the back of the ribbon that will be touching the cover. Okay, and the part of the cover, we know that part by just using the ribbon to touch the cover, and then it will already share some gum there, so we know exactly where to put it that way. Wait a little while or blow some hair. Okay, then put the box sideways so that you can see what you're doing, and just put them together. Apply little pressure this time, not too much, very slight pressure, and look, it's formed beautifully. Close it in. Here we go. All right, let's go to the last and final part that you have been waiting for. That will be writing this name, into the box. How do we do that? Um, there is something called a DTF. This is what a DTF looks like. It is used to customize shirts. So you have to look for a place where it's done, and you write the name with the size, the final size of this place in mind. When you keep that in mind, it's easy to, because this size, of course, you can see it's too big for what I have here. So I have a smaller size already that I have printed that is exactly that size. So I'm going to bring it in and use it. Okay, so this is the smaller version of the DTF that is printed, and you see it fits exactly into the space that is needed. So I'm going to be cutting out just that small piece. Okay, small piece. Right. So this is it. This is the name, Centara. She sells perfumes, right? So with that, I'm going to place my label in here, and finally I will be employing the services of my laundry iron to transfer this effectively to the space. Okay, so this is my laundry iron already plugged in. It's very hot, and I will just be using the tip of it to transfer and just apply pressure after placing it exactly the way I want it to be. Okay. Then I'm going to be transferring using this pressing iron. Just apply pressure over it gradually, gradually, gradually. And as it transfers, it's going to be, creating some black backgrounds, showing you that those letters are already set. Okay. And you see that. I'm careful not to bring the iron close to the glaze paper so that it doesn't deform under heat. Having done that, I can open this out and look. Ooh, the box is ready. Beautiful. Thank you for joining thus far. You must be a really patient person and a bright student to have followed this video thus far. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that it really helps your box making journey. If you have any questions you would like to ask or anything that is not clear, please reach out to me in the comment section or just DM me if you are watching this on the course platform. All right, my name is Gaius and I am the young mind behind Artillery Boxes and Crafts from Kwara State, Nigeria. Currently, that's where this video was recorded. And I wish I can help you get materials wherever you are, but you would have to find them out yourself. But then, till another class, I'll see you then. Thank you for joining. God bless you.